US forces have launched fresh military strikes against Iran, with reports of hits on civilian infrastructure and a major escalation in the Strait of Hormuz. Good morning, and welcome to the Morning Brief. Today is Friday, 17 July 2026. I'm Neil, and in the next few minutes, I'll take you through the news that matters at home in Ireland, then across to Britain, and out into the wider world. Everything you need to know before the day begins. Ireland. Let's begin here at home, in Ireland. Cork is closing in on an all-time heatwave record this morning, with temperatures climbing toward levels not seen in living memory. The southern counties are officially in drought now. No rain is forecast for the next 10 days, and high temperature warnings remain in place across Cork, Kerry, Limerick, Galway and Mayo. It's a genuine crisis for water supply, agriculture, and the health of vulnerable people. If you live anywhere in those counties, you'll be rationing water, keeping an eye on elderly relatives and neighbours, and watching your garden and land dry out in front of you. The Gardaí and local authorities are preparing for the strain this will place on emergency services and community resources. Aer Lingus, Ireland's flagship airline, is facing significant job cuts, and trade unions have sounded the alarm. Hundreds of workers across the airline's operations are at risk, threatening not just individual livelihoods, but a cornerstone of Ireland's aviation sector and its international connectivity. For Ireland, this matters because Aer Lingus is one of the country's largest employers in a strategically vital industry. Every job lost here ripples through the economy and affects communities that depend on that employment. There's also significant movement this morning on the ambulance strike front. Trade unions have agreed to defer further planned strikes, easing pressure on Ireland's emergency healthcare system. It's a temporary reprieve, but it means that for now, ambulance services won't be disrupted and people in need of emergency transport will have access to those critical services. Here at home, that means vulnerable patients and anyone needing urgent medical help won't face delays caused by industrial action. A real relief for families and the HSE as they navigate ongoing disputes over pay and working conditions. And the Taoiseach has made a notable policy statement this morning. A single currency could benefit a united Ireland. It's a significant intervention in the economic debate around Irish reunification, signalling that government thinking on currency arrangements in a future united state is evolving and being debated seriously at the highest levels. Closer to home, this reflects how the Dáil leadership is now openly discussing the practical and economic dimensions of reunification, no longer abstract talk, but concrete thinking about how a united Ireland might actually function. UK. Now, across the Irish Sea to the UK, Andy Burnham will become the next Prime Minister next week, and he's set to outline his vision for government in a major speech on Friday. His leadership marks a significant shift in UK governance, and it will reshape Britain's approach to some of the most sensitive issues affecting Ireland. Why does this matter on this side of the Irish Sea? Because a new Prime Minister will set the tone on Northern Ireland policy, Brexit implementation, and cross-border trade, and Burnham's cabinet appointments and early priorities will directly shape how those critical issues develop. The UK government is also moving to ban high caffeine energy drinks for under 16s from April 2027. The ban affects approximately 100,000 children daily who currently buy these drinks, though softer drinks with lower caffeine levels will remain available to young people. And the Irish angle? Irish retailers and e-commerce businesses selling energy drinks will need to adjust their operations to comply with UK regulations for cross-border sales and online orders to British customers, particularly affecting border communities and online traders. Outgoing Prime Minister Keir Starmer has pledged unwavering support for Ukraine as he prepares to leave office. During a final visit to President Zelensky, he assured continued UK military and political backing for Ukraine's war with Russia, and that commitment is expected to continue under Burnham's leadership. This underscores the continuity of UK foreign policy on the conflict, despite the change of leadership at Westminster. World. And finally, out into the wider world. The US has launched a fresh wave of military strikes against Iran, with reports of hits on civilian bridges and infrastructure in the country. American forces have also boarded a ship in the Strait of Hormuz, a critical choke point for global oil supplies. It's a significant escalation in what was already a tense standoff, pushing the region toward an unpredictable flashpoint. For Ireland, this matters because escalating US-Iran military conflict directly threatens oil prices and the shipping routes that fuel Ireland's economy. Stable Middle Eastern oil markets and free passage through the Strait of Hormuz are essential to Irish fuel costs, our import and export sectors, and European stability. Global oil prices are rising sharply as a result of these intensifying US-Iran hostilities and the very real threat that critical Red Sea shipping lanes could close. Energy price spikes are rippling through Europe, driving up inflation, transportation costs, and fuel expenses across the continent. The knock-on effect for Irish households? Higher heating and fuel costs, increased inflation, and rising shipping costs that eat into the competitiveness of Irish exports, all of it flowing from instability in a region thousands of miles away. EU climate data released this morning shows that June 2026 broke heat records across Europe and global oceans, a dramatic acceleration of the warming trend we've been tracking for years. Major wildfires are spreading across Spain and other regions as a direct result of the extreme temperatures. For anyone in Dublin, Cork, or Galway, the practical impact is visible in food prices driven by disrupted European agriculture. The risk of climate migration flows into Ireland as other parts of Europe become less habitable, and our shared participation in EU climate crisis responses that shape policy and infrastructure investment here at home. And Brazil is preparing a tough, retaliatory response to new Trump tariffs, sources say. The move signals escalating trade tensions between major global economies and reflects the broader shift toward American protectionism that's reshaping international commerce. Here at home, that means Irish export sectors face collateral damage from US-Brazil trade tensions that could trigger broader tariff wars. And Ireland's negotiating position as an EU member becomes even more critical in navigating a world of fractured trade relationships. A lot moving this morning. Military escalation in the Middle East pushing energy prices higher, record heat across Europe, and significant shifts in British leadership that will reshape how our nearest neighbour approaches Northern Ireland and the post-Brexit world. And that's the morning brief for today. Whatever the day brings, take it steady. I'm Neil. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Until then, look after yourself.